Hey everyone, sorry about that confusion. I thought that it was scheduled for today, but apparently it was scheduled for tomorrow. I must have changed it by accident. I'm not sure. Although I was going to change it, and then I read the title of my live that I had put, and I was like, well, I guess I kind of have to do it now because that title is just so darn fitting. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I know I say this every time, and people are probably going to laugh at me for saying it. I'm not going to be on here too long. I always think that like a live under an hour isn't worth doing, but today I just have so much nonsense going on that I guarantee you I'm going to need to get off of here at some point soon. Plus, hi, Earthbound Spirit and Kellyanne and Michelle, of course. What is happening? Yeah, I don't know. I must have clicked something by accident. Hi, Mom of Two Men. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm like delusional right now. I've just been trying to get all my papers in and stuff, but also I have like a billion things going on at the house. Hi, Dave G. Um, oh, you were? It's okay. I'm sorry. No, Michelle, that's my fault. That's my fault. And I was gonna move it, and then I decided not to because I looked at the title that I had put for it, saying that people are a bunch of wannabes. Um, and I was like, oh yes, we have to touch on this, especially after my little community post today. We're gonna talk about that. Um, so yes, it's okay, guys. I get it. This is my own freaking fault. And I don't know what's up with my internet either. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Hi, SA. Yeah, everything is just going wrong today, guys. Everything. And like, I don't know. I feel like one of my cats is like outside, like howling. I don't know why. He's the feral one that I keep inside during the night and when it's cold. So he goes outside during the day, but he's not going outside at night. It's too cold, and I love him, so he's not. And he's sitting right at the top of the basement stairs, which is literally right outside my room, the room I'm in right now. And it echoes because it's a really high ceiling. So, and it breaks my heart. I hate hearing cats cry. Um, but I know he's just trying to get my attention. And I spent time with him today, so I don't know what his issue is. But then I have that, and then I have my dog who's been just, I think she might have eaten a blanket or something because she's doing this weird thing she does when she does that. So I'm like, I'm waiting for it. And I'm like, it is 9:53 at night and I am not in the mood to deal with this crap. You are going to go to your crate and you are going to go to bed and we are going to get a good night's sleep so we can get up and do like everything we need to do in the morning and not procrastinate. All right, that's my little rant for today. Plus, I have food to eat. Actually, I got Burger King, which I almost never get. But I don't eat a whole lot of meat, guys. I know. Fun fact. So I got the Impossible Whopper, and I was raised vegetarian, so that would be why. Hold on. Who did I miss? Did I miss? I don't know half of some of the creators you guys talk about either, or that people send me because I know I didn't eat dinner. It's on my It's on my table. It's on my table. Like I said, I was going to move this back, but then I was like, no, I am on a mission to talk about this particular thing. Because obviously it, made me annoyed enough to make a community post about it this morning. And I had to sit and think about it. So it doesn't annoy me as much as it did earlier, but it does in some ways. Like if that makes, it'll make sense in a minute. Because like if this actually happens, then I will be happy, but it won't. So, but I'll hold out until I figure it out. No, I'm not hangry. I'm not hangry. I'm annoyed. I'm not hangry. Just annoyed. But I missed most of what went on last night because I was writing papers. I went to bed fairly early. So everything that happened last night, which I heard was quite something, I missed it. And I did not rewatch it because here's the thing, guys. I tried to. I turned it on a little bit and I was like, this is just more of the same stuff. And I was a little new topic yesterday, but it's like, if I feel like every channel I go on, it's like talking about the same events and the same things and the same everything, same words. And, I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm actually getting bored. And I didn't notice that I was getting bored of it until like a couple days ago. And I'm like, okay, I might actually officially be bored. But, I'm also noticing though, because I listen around, because I don't know, I like to check out. A lot of people come up in my suggested who I wouldn't necessarily or who I didn't know how to channel mostly. But So I'm like, I'm going to listening to them, and I'm starting to hear like a lot of the phrases and words and stuff that I've been saying forever now. Because prior to me coming on here, and I'm not trying to, be salty about it, because if this happens, I will be happy. But when I first started coming on here, I was the one who started talking about core values, morals. I didn't really hear anybody use that terminology prior, not that I listened to, anyways. About that, about wanting to create a place where, at first I thought that maybe all that we had in common was, because I would always go with that little thing. I was like, okay, we're from all walks of life, we're from all over the planet, and the one thing that we have in common together is that we either still do, or used to watch Natasha Cooper for the most part. But I want to take it like deeper than that, because for me, it's more like I feel like there's a lot of things that we have in common that goes way more. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that video, Killian. I did not see that. I don't. Yeah, I don't think I saw that. Um, and I think we all have a lot more in common than just that. I found that, there's a lot of people who were adopted. There's a lot of people, who have struggled with substance abuse. There's a lot of people that have, their own DV stories. There's actually a lot of stuff in this community that we have in common, that has nothing to do with the creators that we enjoy. Hey, Brittany. And I really wanted to kind of focus in on that. But I'm going everywhere and I'm hearing people saying the same things that I've been saying for God only knows how long now. And I was like, at first it annoyed me, because I'm like, I know that, how I think is I don't know. I don't want to say this without sounding really conceited. I don't always communicate incredibly well, but because I have ADD, my brain is a mile a minute. It really depends. And I was like, but these aren't these people's words, if that makes sense to you guys, because I've listened to their lives before, and this is just people, and I've heard it everywhere, just people repeating my views on things. But if they really have that view, that's great, because I think that how I'm doing things is pretty special, but it's not competing with anybody else. Like, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show, somebody asked me today, and I forget who, what is my mission statement, my core values, my vision statement for my channel. And it's always evolving, depending on what it is. Hey, Golden. And if I missed anybody else, I'm so sorry. It's evolved over time. But as I'm currently, it's I'm part of this community. I've been part of this community for almost a year, so I have every right to be here, to create my channel here, because I like the people. And actually somebody else was saying that today too, but I hope they meant it. I really enjoy, what I'm on here for is mostly to talk to people, actually. And I just wanted to do it in more of a, hi Nightmare, in an atmosphere that was more my pace, which is obviously how I do my channel. That's really all I wanted to do here. And I was doing some videos here and there. I was testing the water, seeing what I could do, what I, maybe could learn to do in terms of videos. And it's been a learning process. And as new information has come out, as new things have gone down, I've at this point, just been like, I want to show people that there is a place for a channel like mine where people from wherever can be, and not, worry about somebody seeing their name in the chat and getting attacked just because their name might be somewhere else. Because I really, at this point in time, guys, I really could care less who people support. That's what YouTube should be. You should be able to support whoever you enjoy. YouTube is entertainment. So if you enjoy a creator, that's what matters. That's what matters, is that you enjoy them. That's what YouTube is here for. So I don't want to go that road. That's not for me. I think we have a lot more in common than just that stuff. And my cats are going crazy right now. Oh my God. Not tonight. Not today. Not today. Hey, Navigator. So that's kind of been my goal as of lately, because I have found myself feeling like a lot of people are, I don't want to say taking sides, but I mean, for lack of a better word, I guess. And I just don't feel like that's for me. I would rather kind of just do my own thing with my channel, test out other things that I enjoy doing. I've been going to some cemeteries, and I have a whole list of them that I want to go to that have some spooky connotations or associations rather. or pretty iconic. Like there's one in Sleepy Hollow, which is in New York. I believe it's upstate New York, and I am gonna road trip it there to kind of do a little tour there. And I don't really know that town particularly well, um, but I know it well, and I've been there a few times now. Actually, have I? Maybe twice. I've driven through it a few times, but Salem, Massachusetts is pretty local to me. That's probably about an hour and a half, and I know that place. I know that town like the back of my hand, and I would love to take people on like a little tour of the stuff that's stuff that I know how to do and that I enjoy, because why not? Why not? It might not be as popular as if I'm on here ranting and raving or talking about other people and drama, but that's who cares, right? If I'm meant to make it on YouTube, then it'll happen when it happens, and I'm not gonna force myself into a role that doesn't fit me just for that. I think that that's a dangerous way to do things. I think that that would just cause me to be hey Mishi, or yeah, I think that's how we pronounce it. Okay, I think so. I think that's what we said. um but I that's all I want here. And a lot of people really focus on numbers, and they like to make fun of you for your numbers, and they like to do all those things. And I'm really, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Nightmare, right? Leave it behind us. That's all I want to do. And it's like the fact that I want to do that pisses people off, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Why does every creator that's in this little bubble, why do we all have to do drama? Why do we all have to, pick a side and talk about one thing or another? Why can't we be here and not do that? Because these are my friends. You guys are my friends, especially those of you who come into my chat, and I've gotten to know a lot of you. I come on here for that. That's what I come on here for. And my loyalty is to nobody but my subscribers, because I wouldn't be here without you guys. The fact that I have as many as I do is incredible. I never thought I'd get to 100, let alone where I'm at now. And I took a hit from all this stuff, and it's ridiculous because I'm still seeing crap about myself that's awful, actually, that I'm just like so taken aback that somebody would even use some of the words I've seen to describe me. Never in my life have I been called evil before, until recently. So that's a new one. Yeah, so I'm not really sure why that is. I feel like, people have been burned so much here, or they're just so used to a certain thing that they just expect everybody to be like that. And, the people who aren't are kind of seen as, I don't know, not good or something. I'm trying to figure out what the deal is with that, because I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I mean, I'm trying to put myself in the, in people's shoes, because I am a subscriber also here. This is my community. I didn't come in here trying to infiltrate, a particular community, if that makes sense. I came on here because I was already a part of it, honestly. Yeah, I love Salem too, Michelle. It's a really cool town. I literally could do tours. I could do them in my sleep. I spent quite a bit of time in Salem because I like that spooky stuff. I'm all about spooky stuff. And, and I know that there's a lot of true crime fans in here. And I also know that there's a lot of horror fans and like fans of spooky things here as well. So if that's something that I can do, I'm going to try my luck with that. I'm going to try my luck with a bunch of things. Navigator, you know what? Yeah, well, I hadn't seen that either, Navigator, until this morning. And I was like, oh, okay. And I've heard some conspiracy theories about myself, and I'm just like, good Lord. But, fortunately, I know that the people well, yeah, Kellyanne, I don't understand what it is either. And I don't even know these people. I don't even know them. I've never even necessarily seen them before. It's the ones that I have seen before and that used to come to my chat. Those are the ones that, upset me a little bit, because there are a few in particular who I used to really enjoy when they would come into the chat, and they had really great stuff to say and stuff like that. I've been to the Tower of London too. Yes, I really enjoyed that as well. We did that when I was in London, and we did Stonehenge, but it was right when maybe not right when, but I thought I was going to be able to go up to Stonehenge, but they had these little, I'm sure it's different now. This was in 98, 97. They had these almost like walkie-talkies, and it was like a guided tour, but that was pretty cool. There's some really, really kind of spooky places in Japan that I really enjoyed as well. But yeah, there's a lot of paranormal stuff in New England, and that's really what I'm interested in. I was gonna move my live, Megan. I was. Hi, hashtag shy. I was going to. And then I saw the title of it, and because of, what I have been annoyed with earlier, I was like, you know what, that fits. That fits. A bunch of wannabes. Because that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, everybody wants to say a whole lot of crap about me, but they also want to take my words. They want to use the phrases that I use. And I've never heard them use them before. And that's the point. Yeah, it is strange when somebody genuine, right? And nobody, but part of me doesn't blame people, because look at some of the people that have been in and out of this community, or are still in, you know what I mean? And you look at people like that, and you look at the things going on, and you almost think to yourself, well, of course people are going to see someone like me as fake, because it's not normal. But that's the thing. It should be normal. I'm doing okay, Megan. I've had a very busy day. I wasn't going to come on, and I'm going to try to get off of here by like 10:45 at the latest. So, because I need to get some sleep today. But I was like, I'm going to come on here and talk, because if I don't come on here and talk while I'm annoyed, I might not talk about it, because I'll be like, whatever. But, when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, well, if people really want to like copy what I say, then I hope that they practice what they preach, because that's okay. You don't have to do drama all the time. For a smaller channel like me, Navigator, I've never even heard of them. And I don't really want to say it out loud, because I'm not looking for somebody who knows who it is to go back and be like, oh, she's talking about you, and then have God knows who. I've never seen their name before. And it's not on a channel that I follow, if that makes sense. So, right, but Golden, that's, and that's fine. I totally like, there are people that feel one way or the other, but I don't, at this point, for me personally, I don't care about that. But that's not to mean that, yes, that's right, Megan. I'll say, yeah, I have screenshots. I was like, good Lord. Yeah, I've never been called evil. Never in my entire life. And yeah. So, and that's the thing. Like, I haven't forgotten what people have done in this community, or, I haven't forgotten everything that's gone on. It's just not what I want my channel to be about, if that makes sense to you guys. There's so, like I said, I can't go to a channel without hearing about the same thing lately. And some creators do it better than others, obviously. So if I'm going to listen to that, I'm going to listen to somebody who, presents themselves in a way that engages me. I'm not going to suffer through a live with someone that I don't care for. You know what I mean? Not that I don't care for anybody. I'm an easygoing person. It takes a lot to really piss me off. Hi, Lorianne. And honestly, half the time that I, kind of calm down about things, they're about things that I probably shouldn't. And people have, asked if I'm going to make up with so-and-so or whatever. And I'm like, first of all, I didn't realize I had a problem with some people. I was like, that was the first I've been hearing of it. Or it's something that I'm not gonna, like, I can forgive, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna associate with that person going forward. If there's somebody that's capable of treating somebody the way that, I've been treated, or others in some cases, I can't get behind that. I just can't. That's not somebody that I want close to me. I have many people on here at this point that I speak to privately about some really personal stuff sometimes. And I trust them because they've never betrayed me, even though some may have wanted to at one point, one particular person. And I appreciate that more than this person will ever know. Very much. Yeah, we could, I would totally do a meet. I was thinking about that, but I'm like, the minute I say I want to do a meet and greet, people will lose their minds. They'll be like, who is this nobody? You know what people say. And yeah, and I would love to do that. I mean, look, I would, because I like, that's the difference though. You have to always question, like, I always question, like, the people that think in the way that they do, like the ones that go off on these ridiculous wild goose chases about trying to go down a rabbit hole to connect things. I'm always skeptical of that, usually, because a lot of the time, like, I've always heard that phrase, and actually I heard it on Law and Order SVU, so I can't take credit for this phrase, but it's if you hear hoofbeats in Central Park, think horses, not zebras. So a lot of the time things are a little bit more obvious. Sometimes things are a little complicated, but as far as I know, a lot of stuff is pretty obvious if you know what you're looking for. So yeah, paranoia is crazy right now, Michelle, and that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Um, oh, wait, are you in Chicago, Navigator? There are. Oh my God, yes, I know the cemetery you're talking about. That's a really supposedly haunted one, the one with Al Capone. Absolutely, I know of that one. I've actually wanted to go there. If I'm thinking of the right one, which I might not be because there's so many cemeteries, and sometimes I get confused just like anybody else. But yeah, the conspiracies, it's ridiculous. I'm like here, but firstly, I'm hearing things about myself that like I don't even know the people that are, supposedly like behind the scenes involved with things. I don't even know those people. Some of them I've never heard of. And, and like I said, guys, at first, my first instinct when I hear that is to get really defensive and to immediately come on here and address it. But you know what? You know what, guys? I'm not going to do that because if people want to go down that rabbit hole, if they want to try to make up that, whatever, let them. Let them. I promise you guys, I have no secrets left in my closet. I have nothing more that people could possibly put out on me that wouldn't have been manufactured themselves. And that's the other problem. I mean, I have been cloned. I've been cloned at least 3 times that I know of that I've seen screenshots of. But hi, Anne. And that's the crazy thing about it. Like, why? Some people I feel like just want to keep the chaos going, so they'll clone people, so people get like the wrong idea, and I'll own it if it's me. Like if people say or like, oh, is this you? I'll own it. I will. Because have I always been kind in chats? I mean, probably not. Definitely not. But not what people seem to think I'm doing. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird, guys. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't like it. Like, I don't want to be part of this. I'm not involved in this. I'm not, it has nothing to do with me. So for my channel, what I want to do is I just want to talk about other stuff. And if people want to come check it out, if they want to see what I'm doing, because I'm going to try a bunch of stuff, that's great. But if they don't, yeah, the little girl. Yes. Hold on. I feel like I've heard about that, but I'm not sure. There's probably like a bunch of, there's also a grave here that, near where I live. It's a bit of a hike, but for us Rhode Islanders, a hike is like 45-minute drive. So people would just laugh at me. But it's called the Mercy Brown graves, and it was like a suspected vampire. I have to actually brush up on the history of that. I think what it was is when people used to die of tuberculosis, there would be blood kind of expelled from their lungs, and people would take that as because we didn't understand what tuberculosis was and diseases. So I feel like that's a lot of where that came from, but I need to brush up on that. There's also a place that I would love to hike out to and show you guys called Devil's Foot Rock, I believe is what it's called. And I can do a really good storytelling thing about, Jeremiah Madison and his farm and the devil that allegedly came to visit. And the portal was this rock. It could be like a campfire story, guys. But, every town's going to have its urban legends and like, the stories and stuff like that. So, and I'm well versed on many of them. Yeah, I can because I really don't have many people in my chat. And I like that though. And that's actually one of the reasons I wanted to do lives myself, is because especially with the larger creators, I might be thinking, yes, that's it. That's it, Navigator. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yep. I've actually seen some pretty compelling pictures, and I have one compelling, guys, I'll show you. It was actually confirmed. But I don't know if any of you guys believe in that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously some of you guys do. So don't think I'm a loon, but at the same time, I have a picture that cannot be debunked. I've sent it in to several places that would be more than happy. They've debunked some of my other pictures, but they have not debunked this one. And it looks like a legitimate woman behind me. And I look terrible in the picture, but I'll share it just for you guys when I do my spooky thing, because I want to do spooky live too. Yeah, I like that stuff too, Lorianne. Yeah, Connecticut's got some rich history as well, for sure. I forget some of the locations, but I should know them. I don't know why I don't. And that's the kind of stuff that I really, really enjoy and like. I'm always fascinated by that stuff. That and like, thinking I'm kind of my late one of my latest rabbit holes is just Mars, because they've actually made some new discoveries on Mars very recently that I need to read up on. But I really I think like other planets, like the fact that we have a rover there, and you can actually on YouTube, if you Google that, there's like an hour-long footage, and it's been adjusted so it's in 4K, and it literally looks like you're watching something that was done on Earth, and it's insane. And just to think to yourself that that's as far away as it is. And now, and obviously, there are those people that are like, "Well, we've never been to space; it's a conspiracy." But I don't believe that. I believe that we have. But everybody is entitled to their own beliefs on that. I've heard both arguments, and this is just mine. But yeah, I like the smaller chats too, because like, a lot of the time, yeah, Google it, Michelle. It's really awesome. I hope it's still up. It was up as of last summer. Because as creators get bigger and they have more and more people in the chat, it becomes harder and harder to keep up. And for me, I like to talk to you guys. I don't want to talk at people. And a lot of the time when it's going by that fast, it's really hard for creators to keep up, even if they're trying really hard. So, I mean, I don't think I'll ever get to that point. I don't think so. But well, maybe, who knows? Maybe my channel will blow up. Probably not. But it could. It could. Yeah. You can't handle aliens at this point. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, yeah, life on Earth is crazy enough right now, right? So, I mean, I don't even know anymore. I don't even look at the news anymore. It's just so depressing. It's just so depressing. I have not, but I should watch that. I've never even heard of that. Is that like on a streaming service, The Faces of the Forgotten? Um, yeah, no, there's so many cool like ghost stories around, and some of them, I mean, you can tell are kind of like, almost like tall tales, but a lot of it's pretty compelling and interesting. And I like the historical aspect of it, because I've always been curious. I always ask why. So I always want to see, if I can debunk things myself. Not that I've been able to really make any groundbreaking discoveries, but that's what I do. I go down these rabbit holes, and I just do. Yeah, news. I wish it wasn't still a thing. Good Lord. I literally don't even read it at this point, because either I feel that it's so biased one way or another, which obviously for someone like myself, I prefer in the middle. I don't want to talk about politics, but I do prefer more, unbiased. I think a lot of us would prefer that, actually. But that's not what you get a lot of the time. You get the narrative that, whatever wants you to think. And I don't care for that. So either I'll think it's that, or I just don't want to know, because it's just such just awful crap. And if I was to spend my time worrying about it, if I was to spend my time dwelling on it, I would drive myself crazy. So instead, I just appreciate every single morning, like every morning, what am I talking about? Every day. And, just kind of take it that way. Instead, and appreciate the time I have, because you never know when it's your time. So, that's what I'm trying to do. But yes, the news is horrible. It's like, I saw a meme that was like, I turned off, oh my God, what is it? I turned off the news to put on a serial killer documentary, because it's way more, calming. And, that's so true at this point. It's so true. But yeah, I mean, I have like themes of stuff that I want to start doing. I want to, hi, Sofa King. I'm trying to like, have themes, because if I don't have themes, I'm going to be all over the place, just like I am, or I'm going to resort to talking about what I'm seeing in the community. And I really don't want to always do that. I know people like it though. Like if I'm not talking about drama, I don't get as many views, or, stuff like that. And for somebody who cares about, and I was caring about numbers for a while. I was like, getting really down on myself. I was like, there's no place for me here. Maybe I should not be on YouTube, or maybe this isn't right for me. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, why can't it be? So that's my new like vision statement, is that I want to show that there's every place, there is a place in this community with these people, meaning you guys, where we can do something a little bit differently, and not have it seen as the worst thing on the planet and evil. which is really strange. Because why do we all have to talk about that? It doesn't mean that I don't think a certain way. It doesn't mean that I don't have opinions. Doesn't mean that nothing has changed. I just don't want to talk about it. I'm all talked out about it. If something else that's like really big happens, fine. We can talk about that. But at this point, I've even noticed that, if I go to any given channel, they're talking about the same thing. And I don't, it's not for me. It's not for me right now. I want to do something. And I think that's what people appreciate about my chat. And that's what matters. The people who enjoy coming here, the people who participate, they like it a lot for what it is. So I'm not going to try to make it into something that isn't my style, because that just leads to me feeling burnt out or having to pretend or, all of that stuff. I think like when the topic was really just starting, and I had so much to say about it, but I have nothing left to say about it. Everything that I've said about what I need to say, I have videos about. I do videos. I used to do just videos, actually. So, I mean, obviously you're going to have to scroll back, but for the most part, nothing's changed. Some things have, and I've thought about going through my videos and putting some edits on some, just to show that I, maybe think a little bit differently on some things. But especially if I'm like, defending someone that really did not deserve me to be doing that at all. But that's a different story, and that's not even really that prevalent. It doesn't matter, because I'm not. Does it shock me when I see some of the stuff that people think? Yes, especially when it's people I don't even know. But I don't understand what threatens people so much. What about me is evil? What about me is fake? What about me is any of those things? I would love to have a conversation with somebody who feels that way, like not in my chat, but in an email or whatever, because I'm trying to figure it out myself. Because I have a lot of words for myself, and many of them are, disparaging and putting myself down, but those wouldn't be included in the things that I dislike about myself. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But, I have to just take a back seat here, because there's a lot of, there's a lot of hurt, and there's a lot of anger. And yeah, thank you, Anne. That's not the vibes that I think anybody has gotten. Well, clearly somebody has. I also think though, it's because of things that have been said about me. And these are in like smaller channels. I've never heard of some of the channels that some of these things are being said in the chat. So I think that says a lot too. But yeah, I've never. I think it might be because people believe things that they hear, and they either don't know me. So if they don't know me, all they know about me is a narrative that somebody else had to say. That's one thought that comes to mind. Or it's something like that, right? Something like that. So yeah, I'm tired of hurting other people. I'm tired of people putting themselves in the middle of this that, it has nothing to do with them. Because it's for the wrong reasons. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't think I need to clarify that. Yeah, there really are navigator, and I don't understand it. And they don't like others to succeed. They really don't. And they, unfortunately, a lot of these people have the influence to make it so I don't succeed. And, if my channel was at a different place, I'd feel better about it. But at the same time, it's discouraging to see people saying things and having that many people believe it. And I just have to remind myself that, if it's meant to be, and meant to be, get it, be, and people, can see for themselves that when the dust settles, that I'm really looking pretty good compared to, I'm not who people say I am, then maybe they'll come back. Or they, I'm not the channel for them, which is their right. I can't force people to watch me. I can't force people to subscribe to me. I just, I really challenge people to think about why you're unsubscribing, and ask yourself if it's for reasons that are I don't know, because I had somebody tell me that they've unsubscribed from channels that they enjoy because they've heard something about it. And I don't understand that. because you should be able to enjoy whoever you want, and maybe you don't want to talk about it, maybe you don't want to be open about it, and that's fine. But you shouldn't be, I welcome everybody in my chat. I don't care where I've seen your name. I really don't. Some other people in the chat might, but I really encourage them. And my chat is really, really chill, guys. It's really chill. So most people, I really don't have that much tension or anything either. So that's really great. And that's all I care about, because I don't really care who you support at this point. Like, that's your choice. I feel like the information about a lot of things is out there, whether it's true or false, and people can make up their own minds. But I just think it's kind of problematic that some people have like that much influence, and that, I guess that's my own fault for being in this, not being in a larger community. But that's the problem, because I like you guys and I don't want to go somewhere else because I don't have you guys. If that, so it's really what it comes down to. So I'll have my little channel. The people who want to support me can come here and support me. And I'm just going to ignore the rest. I'm just going to ignore it, because why bother? There's just a lot of people are really wrapped up in this right now. A lot of people have gotten involved that, really, I don't know why. Hi, Jean. And I appreciate all the positive feedback. Like, honestly, I really do. Because sometimes it's hard for me to think positively about myself. Sometimes it's really difficult for me to, because you can't help but feel like I'm a confident person. I know who I am. But when you're seeing people that, and everybody's always like, oh, they're jealous. I'm not jealous of what, people always talk about. That's not the word. That's not the right word. I think what I am is just disappointed that people would prefer that kind of thing over something different. Not that, I'm everybody's cup of tea, and not that I'm anything special. There's just certain situations that you can't help but think that. And I'm not going to use names because I don't want to offend anybody, because it's just my opinion, and my opinion should not matter. So not with that kind of stuff. And there's no point in me sharing it that wouldn't just be hurtful. So I'm not going to do that. But, we all have creators that we feel that way about. I mean, every single one of us, you're going to have a creator that you're like, why do people watch this person? I mean, let's be honest. Because not everybody is going to be everybody's cup of tea. I get a navigator, and I get that, but that's not like, that's a good reason to unsubscribe. What isn't a good reason to unsubscribe is because, somebody suddenly doesn't like somebody necessarily. I just think it's much more complicated than that. But when I've gotten emails, like, I lost subscribers when I have done a whole slew of things at this point, but recently it's been what's been said about me, and I don't think that's fair. But the tides will always turn. Karma's a bitch, and if you want to put that negativity and lies and all of that out into the world, then you just have to think, like, when somebody decides to reveal who you are, because it'll happen. That's who a lot of people are comfortable doing that. Then you're gonna be. That's not gonna paint some people in a really good light. I don't know who, but but it's not, and I don't have that. So have I said some, but we've all said things. Like, nothing that I have said is something that people would be like, oh my God, that's so terrible. I'm not plotting against anybody. I don't care that much. Why would I do that? What would be the purpose? I am a small channel. I do not have the influence to take anybody down, even if I wanted to. And why are we doing that anyways? SA, and that's good. I mean, I wish I didn't sometimes, but I have. Not a whole lot. It's not anything like I see about other people. That's for sure. But I'm just surprised it's there at all. And especially because it's not people I know. It's not channels that I'm familiar with. I don't even know how my name is brought up there in the first place, but it is because I'm tagged. Some of them at me, or I don't know why they do that. I don't even care. Yeah, the kid. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jean. No, my kitties. I have 3 kitties actually, but I'm so sorry. That's so hard. I don't know. I'm really sorry about that. But it's never easy to lose a pet. Never. Yeah, well, I get that too, Navigator, right? Like, I don't think any creator should be telling anybody that they can't be seen other places either, because that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Like, I don't care who you support. I don't care where I've seen your name at this point. If you want to come hang out and be respectful, I'm really, really down with that. I really don't care where I've seen your name. Now, can I promise that people in my chat won't say anything? No, I can't promise because I can't control what comes out of people's mouths. Um, we have freedom of speech. So if people have an opinion, then, I can't say that somebody's not going to say something either way. But when people are in my chat, people are generally really respectful and are really, they know me and they know what I expect and what my chat is about. So, oh, I'm sorry, Rody Gal. I hope you're okay. There's a lot of crises going on in my life and a lot of these, for sure. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, hashtag shy though, is that's not gonna be me. I don't think that, you have to pick one thing. I don't want to go back to any because there's reason. If I've left a community, there's usually a reason. I don't just leave because somebody tells me something about them. And any of their personal stuff, that's not going to be a reason for me to unsubscribe. Somebody's past doesn't do it for me. Because I truly believe in change. I feed the ferals too, Anne. I do. And it's a blessing and a curse. But that's not enough for me. Like hearing somebody, I don't care if somebody has a criminal record. I don't care anything. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is what I see on YouTube. So usually, and I give people chances, but if it's not something that's for me, if they're not covering topics that I enjoy, if the behavior is just not something I can participate in. And I'm not saying we are a small community, so there's a lot of people that are really active in some of the chats I no longer frequent, because it's not really my style, but they come here and they're friends of mine. So that's how it should work, and that's how I would hope it worked. But that's all. I don't want to. I just don't judge people on that. So if anybody's telling you can't be somewhere because it means you don't support them, I always question that. I always think to myself, that's a really unfair position to put subscribers in, because YouTube should be about what entertains you. And it doesn't matter who it is. Like you could have guilty pleasures here. Like I certainly do. There are people that I watch that, people would probably be like, really? Like, of course, like if you like a creator, you like the creator. You shouldn't have to justify it. You shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? Yeah, Chicory does have a very long criminal history. His biggest offense was stealing my heart, though. Yes, I'm so corny. But that's all I'm trying to say. And I'm just frustrated at this point. I was frustrated because usually at least one live is about something that I'm interested in. But lately it's all about the same, people analyzing the same live for the 1,000th time, and people talking about things that I've literally never seen before. And I'm like, why are you saying that? I've literally never seen anybody say anything. Stuff like that. But obviously I'm not everywhere because a lot of you haven't seen the stuff about me. So that's not a valid point. But, it's just frustrating because there used to be content in this community. And I'm not saying that I put out content. Because I don't. What I think of content, I think of the people that really put time into the research they do for their lives. They come on here and they present it well, and there's a topic or a theme. That's what I consider content at this point. So I'm not, on a high horse or anything like that saying that, I'm putting out content. People aren't. No, that's not what I'm saying. At this point, I don't feel like I am either. But it is the same. No, Jean, that's totally fine. I'm so sorry though. That's really, really hard. My animals are my world and my everything. So I'm glad that you feel that you can come on here and share that. And I'm glad that my chat is being supportive. That's what I like here. That's what I like about the people that come here. But it is, Megan, it's the same regurgitated. It's like, how many times am I going to have to hear that? If I wanted to hear that live again, I would go listen to it for myself. I don't want to hear it again. Like what else is there possibly to talk about that? Um, like that's just how I feel about it. I mean, maybe I'm sure obviously other people feel differently because obviously, but I think a lot of people are just like, why can't we? Like it is sad because, especially for people who, are monetized or, it's like the times that they try to do something that isn't this, it their viewership, while it might be good, is much lower than when they do um the drama. And I can't help but wonder if people are sick of it, but I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, guys. I think it's a perfect storm. I really do. But I would like to do better. I would like to put time into actually creating content. It is time consuming. It really is. It's not easy. And it definitely takes a lot of time and effort. And a lot of it is stuff that I'm not familiar with how to do, especially on like StreamYard. But I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn. Baptism by fire, right? I mean, I'll just come on here and I'll wing it. And if it works, it works. If it's a disaster, then I guess it's a disaster. Hi, Air Force vet. But that's what I'm saying, Brittany. That's what I'm saying. If we can just be positive and create content, right? Right. And, I want to see the true crime again. I want to see like the paranormal stuff again. I want to see anything but this topic. I agree with you, Navigator. I do. I do. I do. And I feel like that's actually a good example. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I do. I agree with you on that. Yes. Hi, Dark Magician. Yeah, it is like a dumpster fire, and it does make them feel better about their lives. I think so. I do edit my own videos. I sure do. Not well, I might add, but I'm getting better at it. Hi, New Orleans lady. And, but for a while, I enjoyed the drama like that too, but it's just gotten repetitive and redundant and just the same information being thrown around. Like, how many times are we going to talk about the same things? I don't understand. It's of no interest to me. And I just wish that people were doing the stuff that they used to do a couple months ago, because people did used to have content. And guys, whether you like it or not, I mean, I think that I know, guys, be nice about this. Because I mean this, and this is my opinion. You're entitled to yours. I think that even Natasha she did have content prior, like I think that she used to do some things that were, not this. I think we can maybe agree on that it wasn't all this. I'm not saying it's always been that way. I mean, I was here over the summer as well, so I am familiar, but at least like once in a while, people are doing something a little different. And it wasn't just 24/7. Like before, there would be drama for like a week or two that was like really intense, but it was never like this. Never. Not that I can remember. That was like, drove me in like it. And right, we don't all have to like the same creators either, but I think at this point in time, judging people for who they support is, I don't know, because I did a poll on it, guys, and YouTube took it down, and I'm not really sure. The title of the poll and what it was have you felt financially taken advantage of on YouTube? And overwhelmingly, people said no. In the amount of time that I had that up there. So I have to think to myself, and it really was never the money that bothered me. I know some people feel differently on that, but for me, at this point in time, people are going to give their money to whoever they choose to give their money to. I think a lot of those people, they've made up that they enjoy a creator, so they're going to support them. And I don't know. I feel like, there's nothing left I can say about that. In that particular topic. Do I like a lot of it? No, not really. But, I don't think that like, I'm going to stop it. I feel like everybody has their supporters. And I think a lot of people really, really like a lot of different creators, and they'll go hard for them. And I feel like a lot of us just have to accept, we used to fight about the Watts case. Exactly. Not about who has what felonies. Perfect point, Anne. Perfect point. And it was drama like that. And and it was entertaining enough. I hate saying that something about a case like that is entertaining, but I don't have a better word for it. And it was drama like that. And I at this point, it's like just ridiculous stuff, and I don't know the solution to it, because nobody's going to stop talking about it. Do I think that that's the best solution? I do. That's my opinion. But people aren't going to do that. And I'm not really sure why, because I feel like a lot of people do have other stuff to offer. So I'm not really sure why, or they have large enough sub counts that if they were to stop talking about that, they might take a hit for it, but it wouldn't ruin them. Not even close. So I can't help but think that they want to talk about it, you know, over and over and over and over. But I miss the content. I miss the different lives and I just do. I miss it. Yeah, I'm a navigator. I feel that. I feel that. I do. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't really care about somebody's past. I don't care, anything about that. I don't care. It doesn't, that none of that is going to affect how I see somebody on here. Because, a lot of the times you don't know the circumstances, or it's not relevant because people can change. I'm living proof that people can change. Now, I'm going to be doing a live later. I think on Friday I wanted to do it, that I'm going to, I know a lot of people were like, well, don't tell things that you're not comfortable. Well, no, I want to tell my story. I want to start to do that. If it can be of any help or inspiration to somebody, that's great. Or if it can provide some clarity, I would love to talk about my adult life, and what I've been through and what I've learned, because I have a really different mindset now than I used to, and I would love to talk about that, because a lot of the time, if I hear people with relatable stories, it makes me feel less alone. So I don't know, maybe I could do that for somebody else. That's true, Dark Magician. That's what I was saying. It is easy. You just come on here and you talk loudly and aggressively about other people. And that is easy. Not for me, because I can't do it, guys. I was like, I'm going to try, but I can't. I don't want to hurt anybody like that. I'll talk about them, and I'll talk about behaviors, and I'll talk about things that, like, if they're going to get bent out of shape about it, like, that's on them and not me. But I'm not going to be going at people in those ways. I'm not capable of it. But you're right, though. And it gets the views. And there's no effort needed. No experience, needed. No, nothing. So, but when it comes to like video making, guys, is really time consuming. It's a pain in the ass. To do like a 2-minute video sometimes takes me up to an hour. And that's not, even more if it's like, listening and suffering through lives to get information, and it's a pain in the ass, and I'm getting better at it, but it's hard. Doing any other kind of content, like, it takes preparation, it takes organization, and a lot of people either don't want, and I'm not even sure if I'll be able to do it. I'm going to give it a shot, but I have ADD, so like, for me to put something together that's coherent, and but I'm going to try. I have, like, I know everybody, I have a bunch of cases, and just topics that I've been researching here and there when I can. And I'm, putting them together and trying to figure out the best way to present it. Because, like I said, I want to have conversations. We're going to be doing an adoption panel where people are going to come up and they're going to tell their stories with that, including myself. And I was listening to my live over again, and I kept saying, I meant to say birth mom, and I kept saying adoptive mom. And I'm like, wow, I sound really awful here. But I was like, I don't know why I was switching it in my head. But, I'm going to be talking about, my adoptive mom is going to come up and help me tell my story. So I think that'll be nice. Because obviously I don't even remember a lot of it. I've blocked out a lot of my childhood. But she remembers. So I think that'll be nice for, other people to hear. I know that there are some people that really want to tell their stories, and I would love to hear their stories, because a lot of us have very different stories. And so we're going to be doing, and I had no idea people would be interested in that. Yes, that's right, Michelle. That's right. Yes, you've been privy to that. Yes. My dad will also be coming on here, I think you guys will really enjoy that. If you like true crime, you like that kind of stuff, my dad is, you'll see. I was going to do it earlier, but then all this drama started happening, and I was like, I'm not bringing my dad into this. I'm not bringing his like professional life into this. I'm just not doing it, because that's not fair. my no, my dad has like a name and a very long career of what he does and all the multiple things. And I was like, I'm not doing that, because I was seeing that. I was starting to see it. I was seeing people digging into personal lives, contacting people, and I'm like, and I called him and I was like, just so you know, if you get called about something about YouTube, it's probably that. And he's like, I know, because there are people that have made fake social media profiles for him. He's not on social media, but people have made fake accounts as him. So, and they've even stolen pictures from my Instagram at one point, which was very violating. But it is what it is. So, and I think that I don't know if I would use law enforcement. Well, I will tell you that he was on the parole board in the state that I'm in for 24 years. He is basically, does like criminology stuff, but that's not his like career. If you have any background in social work, I guarantee you know who my dad is. Yeah. He does a lot of stuff. He has a radio show on NPR. I mean, yeah, you name it, my dad probably does it. He's written at least 30 books that I know of. He's in a lot of documentary stuff, like criminal justice, I guess, not law enforcement, but criminal justice, criminology, looking at stuff from a psychological point of view and a criminology view. So he has some really interesting takes on a lot of stuff. And I would love to have him up here. And I had there's a couple documentaries that he's in that, are pretty easy to find. And yeah, he wrote a book about being on the parole board. And actually the description of it I saw was so badass, and I kind of want to read it, but it was on my Instagram because it was like the press release thing. It wasn't the actual book, but I have the book. But yeah, I mean, you're right. So there's some documentaries. They're easy to find. I mean, I don't want to dox my dad. I think to have him up here, I might have to, but whatever. As long as he knows that the stuff that goes on here, and he understands, because he watches me. I think he subscribes actually. So I think he knows what I'm on here for, and I wish. He's a lot of things, Jane. He does. He's written a lot of books as well. Yes. If I had to put my finger on what my dad is, I don't think I could, because he does that many things. But he's an expert in his field. He gets called for all sorts of cases all over the country as an expert witness. He does a lot of things. I don't think there's anything my dad does not do. But I'm trying not to dox him, because if I say his one claim, like the big thing that he's done in his life, people could look that up. And I'm not ready to do that yet. So yeah, I mean, and he's even asked me questions about, I got a text once, and that's how I found out. He's like, "Who's Natasha Cooper?" And I was like, I don't know how to answer that. And, he likes to dig up things. That's his nature. So obviously he Googled the name, because he was trying to figure out why I was making videos about this woman. And the first one who comes up is actually a true crime author named Natasha Cooper from the UK. And he thought I was talking about her. And I'm like, no. And then he pulled up another article, and he was like, that one. I'm like, that's the one. But, we were talking about all of that stuff. And he has thoughts about that too. I don't think he's particularly happy with how I've done some things on here. I know he doesn't agree with it, so that's okay. And he doesn't have to. He can, but I mean, it's my videos. If I want to do something that's a little bit funnier but taking a serious topic, I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry, I am. So it is what it is. And obviously, with he has very interesting stories. I so wish I could, because he's everywhere. He's everywhere, and you probably recognize him. That's the other fun part. I'm sure you do recognize him. People will be like, "Oh, I've seen that documentary. Oh, I know who that is." But I don't really. And at this point, I almost know for a guaranteed fact that people have dug into me. I actually do know this for an absolute fact. So, I'm not really sure why. I don't know why we need to be doing that. I can assure you I'm not a danger to you or anybody else. And I would not do the same for other people. I have not so much as Googled anybody's name that's from YouTube. I have no interest in doing that. I don't care. I don't care. So, hi, Shar. Um, but that's just me, and that's what I'm saying though. Like, what is it going to take for it to stop? Because that's what honestly, I had lives planned. I had the covers, the thumbnails made, and everything to have him up here almost as soon as I came on. But that's when this drama started, and I was like, I cannot bring my family into this because I was seeing what people were doing. I was seeing what all of that was happening. And I mean, I know my dad doesn't care, but like we've seen some of the stuff that's gone on. And some of it is things that, it doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how silly you think YouTube is. It's really not so nice stuff to do to people. And I didn't want it to be, I don't want to drag people into that. So I've kind of postponed it. And that was originally what I wanted to do on here too. My dad's also part of the podcast that I was sharing. And about speaking out about the troubled teen industry. He never in my life did I think I would ever see my dad's name in the same sentence with Paris Hilton's, but that happened over the summer too. I was like, oh, you have a FaceTime meeting? Okay. That's all I can say about that at the moment. But I have to ask him if I can share that. But I also grew up around this. Like I used to go to some of the parole board hearings with my dad because I was a criminal justice major, and I always found that stuff interesting and seeing the decisions that you have to make because you have to weigh both sides. An inmate might have really shown growth, and my dad's not easily bullshitted. Like, he is a human lie detector. It's actually kind of disturbing, but yeah, you can't bullshit my dad. So, and he'll talk to you about that. I would like him to anyway. But, you see that there's a lot of, inmates that have made a lot of progress. They've, done a lot to better themselves. They've maybe gone and gotten like their GED in jail, or they've, done like substance abuse treatment. You know what I mean? They've really made an effort to better themselves. But then you also have to keep in mind the victim's family. Like some of these people have really, really impacted other people's lives in a way that is, almost unforgivable for them. And you kind of have to weigh out your options, and it's hard. And my dad has definitely gotten some heat on some of the cases he's voted on. I know for a fact he has, because there have been some big cases here that he's had to be a part of. There's, so I think that's always interesting because like you have to vote, like, you can't, or else it's like a conflict of interest. You have to vote on it. And sometimes it's really complicated. So he used to spend hours and hours going over these cases and trying to figure out the best course of action. And, it's not an easy answer because you think to yourself, you're like, well, it would be an easy answer because, the victims should come first, right? The victims and all of that. But then, you also have to take into consideration that, people do change. And there have been a lot of people that he's released that have never reoffended. There have been some that have, but, obviously he's just one vote in a lot of that. And he has had some ones that he's regretted. But some of them don't, they're in there for, maybe they, killed somebody in a drunk driving accident and, they get out after maybe half of their sentence and they never reoffend again. And they're, productive members of society. So, it's really complicated. And you can say it, you'd think one way or the other, because I certainly did, until like you actually look at the facts and all of the factors. Because there's two families involved and there's multiple lives, and it's nuts. It really depends. I mean, there's some cases that like, my dad has even said like, you have not served enough time. It's not that you're not doing good work. It's not that, I just can't in good. Probably I'll have to ask him. I'm not sure. I know he did the, oh my God, why can't I think of his name? Price. Oh my God. Rodigal, I know you know who I'm talking about. Something Price. Craig Price. I know he was involved in that one. And yeah, and I know that he's had to say to people, he's had to be like, look, like, what you did was really awful. I know you've made a lot of progress. I don't think that you're going to reoffend, but we have to take in mind the victims. And you serving 6 years of a 20 something year sentence for, second degree manslaughter, drunk driving. That's not doing them justice. That's not doing the victim justice. And you have to take that into mind too, and it's, yeah, I would love for him to come up here and talk about it. And I'm sure he would, because he literally does public speaking for a living, and travels all over the world actually speaking. So he would be more than happy to come on to my little small YouTube channel. And I've always told him he should do YouTube, but he's in his 70s now, and I don't think he has any interest in doing YouTube. He has enough that he does. So, but I think he'd do real well if he did. I mean, people would enjoy his true crime or the other stuff that he does. And it's, he's accomplished a lot. And, I don't know. I've always felt like a black sheep of the family, though. And I mean, that'll be, yeah, Navigator. I was actually just thinking about that. Yeah. And I know that you mentioned that they didn't notify you, and I don't think that's okay. I don't think I don't know if that's allowed in the state that you're in. Your ex was really? Oh my God, Rhody Gal. That's nuts. That's the thing about Rhode Island, though. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. Like, Rhody Gal has met my mother before, and probably has met me. You're friends with my first grade or fourth grade teacher. Like, it's a problem. It's a problem. You cannot get away from anybody or your past here, unfortunately. So, oh yeah, you're in Illinois. Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought they had to notify you too, Air Force vet, but that's crazy. Oh, his time was up? Oh, all right. Well, that's still, it's, and sometimes sentences are unjust as well. Sometimes people get off, and do very little time for really awful stuff. And then sometimes you have people that are, put in prison for a really long time for something that, it should have been less time. And I know that, a lot of people call me soft on things like this. I beg to differ. All I'm saying is I recognize the fact that a lot of crimes are committed. And my dad actually does this like criminology thing, because there's different types of crimes, and reasons for crimes. And usually it falls into a category. So, there's crimes of passion, but a lot of it has to do with mental health issues and substance abuse, both of which are potentially treatable. If, the person's willing to work on it. Because it's not a magic fix. I mean, the state can't do all the work. Like, you have to do work too. And sometimes people aren't ready, but, with the right support and the right treatment, there's a really good chance that, people can overcome that kind of stuff. And I think that that's not really focused on. That's just my opinion, though. There are some crimes that I don't think are, you're just some crimes that you can just tell, like, that person, there's something not right that probably isn't treatable or curable. And there are some people that really should be behind bars for the rest of their lives. Chris Watts being one of them. So I don't think there's any way around that. If you kill your pregnant wife and 2 small children, yeah, sorry, like, that's exactly where those people belong. But especially when, Chris, my dad had some interesting theories about that too, because it's so hard to put him into a category of a motive. That's the weirdest part, because none of it fits fully. And, I've always wanted my dad to kind of deep dive into that one. So I would love his perspective. He's familiar with the case. But I would love to figure out, because I've even looked in his books, and I'm like, yeah, he doesn't fit in any of those entirely as to what the motive entirely would have been, because yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, someone's future in your hands. Exactly. Because, there's a lot of people that wouldn't reoffend that don't get granted parole. And there's a lot of people that do get granted parole that do reoffend. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell. I mean, my dad, like I said, he's a bullshit detector. Like, good luck lying to him. Good luck. But, it's not saying it doesn't happen. And he's only one person. I forget how many people are on the board. I know some states have it different. Some states don't have a parole board. They have a different system. But I'm not entirely familiar with that. I can only speak for our state. But he was on that for 24 years. So, he's definitely seen some stuff. I mean, he's corresponded with some infamous folks. He has letters for with some infamous folks that I'm almost like I could probably sell those, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Those are special to him. Obviously, I'm talking about, if I was to ever inherit things, but that's all. That's all. Because there's some weirdos that like that. I think was it like murderabilia or whatever. Like there's some weirdos that like spend tons of money on some weird stuff. Like the folks that were taking rocks from the Watts house and being really awful like that. Come on, guys. Yeah, it really was, Navigator. It really was. And I truly believe that too. He must have had, you're right. But the thing, Navigator, is that he was at an age that was much, much past the point of normal mental illness manifesting itself. It usually would have manifested itself by then, if that's it. They didn't drug test him as far as I know, so we don't know about that. But, allegedly there was none of that as well. Why can't you just divorce? Like what led to murder? Like that's not the solution. No normal person is like, I would like to be with somebody else and chooses to murder their family. Like that doesn't make, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be something there's got to be some screw loose. But it's just so odd because, he didn't have a history of mental illness. So, I don't know. I've always been kind of fascinated just by that alone. You always right. And what he did was disgusting. You're right. What he did to the little girls, like who does that? Usually there's an explanation, like somebody was like super high. Not that it's that makes it okay. I'm not justifying. I'm just saying sometimes there's a reason that somebody's brain isn't, working the way it should, or they, maybe stop taking their medication. And, the voices started or something, like that. At least you could. Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, Navigator. And I wish they had drug tested him because I was wondering that as well. But you look at the video, and obviously, like the videos that you see on Facebook and stuff, that's a curated view of the family. But even people that knew them, I mean, I guess it's debatable. I've heard people saying things either way. But you can't really judge the family dynamic just by those videos, because the videos that Chanel was putting out were meant to sell a product. So, but a lot of people that knew them were really shocked as well. And nobody deserves that. It doesn't matter what the circumstances. I mean, that nobody deserves to be murdered. And no child deserves to be murdered, and especially in such a brutal fashion. There's no justification for that, like in my opinion. So, I mean, I think it probably would have been more interesting for us to have seen a trial for that. But it is true that the state, that's a lot of money to do that trial. So I can see why maybe, I don't know. There's some things that I'm kind of like, there could be some conspiracy cover up, but I don't like to go down that route. I really don't. I like to trust that probably 6 to 7 times out of 10, law enforcement is capable. I tell myself that because it makes me feel safer. So don't throw my vibe up. What is that noise? I don't like that noise. When you can just walk away and get a divorce. Exactly. Like, I know it's hard. To walk away from, an established life. And when you're so like, you have a house together and you have all of these assets and, children. I get that that's hard. That would be hard for me too. But no normal person would be like, oh, well, yeah, I'll just murder that. Like, did he think he was going to get away with it? I really, like, it blows my mind. And then he lied about it too. It's like, he had to have, I don't know. There's a lot more to that. That's what's so fascinating about the case though. Those were his babies. Who does that? Who does that to a child, even if it's not your baby? But your own children in such a disgusting way? Like, what goes on in some, it makes no sense to me. Like, just get a divorce. I know it sucks. It's a difficult process to go through, but that's what I'm saying, Navigator. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I've often had the same thoughts, but then you're going to have those people that are on YouTube that just want to use that case for clicks and views, and, incessantly continue to go discuss the case when I don't feel like, yeah, walking away from, Brittany, I'm not going to lie to you. There have been times that I thought it would be easier to fake my own death and start over than to just leave a relationship. Honest to God. So I totally get it, especially when you have such a life together and you've been together. I can't be easy. I know it's not easy. I know this for a fact. But people do it every day. It's not special. People walk away from relationships, marriages that they've been in for 30, 40 years because they're not happy anymore. And, I don't have a problem with that. But, murder is never the answer for that at all, ever. It was 70 there. Yeah. It was maybe 60. It was really windy here today, though. So that kind of ruined the whole vibe. I'm looking forward to some more sun, though. Like I said, sun is the best natural antidepressant, and getting outside, going for a walk. And I walk every day. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find some new places to go because I'm getting a little bored of the scenery. But I'm also getting a little bored of the lives that are being offered, when I'm on my walks. I used to always have something to listen to that kept my attention. And now I'm listening to the same thing on every channel. So hint, hint, wink, wink. Content, please. Yeah, right, Air Force vet. Like, you'd never who thinks of that? I mean, it's mind-blowing to me that, like, somebody who was so seemingly normal. I was reading the book, the woman who dated Ted Bundy for a really long time. I think it's called The Invisible Prince, something like that. I have it on my bookshelf somewhere. And it's really interesting. I have it on my audiobook as well. And, she talks about a lot of the things, and like some of these people are perfectly capable of blending in and, but that's usually serial killers and sociopaths. And I don't think Chris Watts was a serial killer. So I don't know. It's so strange to me. It's so strange. Yeah. That's right, Kellyanne. Yeah, I think you mentioned you're nearby to their memorial or graves. Seriously though, like, who does that? That's what I think is so fascinating about it, is that, like, even psychologically, even for people like my dad who have done these things their entire life and have deep dived into these things, who's worked with, profilers and all of that, don't have a solid grasp on this one. It's kind of baffling given the information that we have anyway. There might be more information out there that, the public is not privy to. So, right. He was one scary guy, Navigator. Absolutely. 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 I mean, I'm not sure. Sometimes I wonder if his body, I hate saying body count, but the number of people he murdered, is really as high as he would say, because he took a lot of credit for a lot of them. But regardless, the ones that, he is known to have done is more people. Like, nobody should be murdered. So it regardless, it's disgusting. But, I think the number I heard was like in the 40s. That's so gross. Like, who does? I could never do. Obviously, I could never murder somebody. But it's so sad. Like, all these lives being, like, ruined just for what? Good night, Rody Gal. I'm gonna get off here too. I have to eat. Yeah, it makes you wonder though, because these are such normal seeming people, and then, like, we meet normal seeming people every day. And maybe that's why people think I'm evil. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Yes, absolutely, Navigator. You can't unsee that. You can't. I have chills. I'm getting goosebumps on my arms right now just reading that. Oh my God. Yep. Imagine seeing that. Imagine having to see those two poor babies in that state. No, I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mishi. I agree. Yeah. I think so. I think so too. I agree with that. That's how I've always seen it. But, sometimes I'll be like, oh, well, another documentary says something otherwise. But yeah, apparently maybe that's why people think I'm evil, because I am so good at being normal. and even-tempered and kind. Yes, so that must mean that I'm like hiding something and evil, right? Right? You know, I guess maybe that's it. Maybe that's the new thing. I'm a sociopath or something. I don't know. I'm not, guys. I do have emotions. I get upset. Anybody who talks to me outside of here has probably had to listen to me rant more than once. But I get it out of my system, and I do it privately. I do it privately. Why do it publicly? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't do that. I have family that watches me. No. Yeah, you're as a minister. Really? Yeah, Lorianne, that's insane. Like, that's somebody that you would trust with, a lot of people would trust, their minister with their life. And to have that happen, um, it just makes you always wonder. It always keeps, as a true crime buff, it keeps me on my toes, I'll tell you that. I always can't help but wonder. I mean, for so many reasons. Like, I've actually, if I'm in like a secluded place and I see somebody there who's like following, there was one time and I called and I wanted to make sure that people knew exactly where I was at that time, because I can't help but think that, like, when I'm in like a giant cemetery where I've seen nobody except for one guy who seems to be following me. Yes, I got on that cell phone and I stayed on it the entire time. And the guy was probably harmless. Like, I'm sure he, was not actually following me. He just happened to be going towards the exit as I was, but it felt like he was, because it was raining. So who else is out in the cemetery in the rain besides me? Because I do things like that. So I guess people like myself, but I still felt uncomfortable. It drives my mom crazy that I actually go out walking at, like, after dark. Because there's been some awful stuff that's happened in my neighborhood. But I don't feel uncomfortable. So I don't know. It drives my mother up a wall. She probably, yeah, side eye on your husband, right? You don't know, though. You don't know. And that's the worst part. That's like the scariest part of all of this, is that these are people that would never expect. Yeah, I have a morbid curiosity for a lot of things, Michelle, that I've always debated whether I wanted to discuss on here, because there are some people who don't want to hear that kind of stuff. There are some people here that would take that as I've heard that too about Israel Keys. I've heard a lot about him, actually. He spent a good amount of time hanging out somewhere that I know very well, actually. I don't blame you. That's a fascinating case. Israel Keys is a very fascinating case that a lot of people hadn't heard of, which I was surprised by. But yes, I am going to be ending mine because I need to go eat. I need to go to bed. I need to chill out. I need to do that. I think we had a good live tonight. So, that's what I'm hoping to bring to you guys. Like, I've been wanting to say that for a while right. Yeah, that's what makes it terrifying, though, Navigator. You're absolutely right. Is that, like, nobody expected that. Like, imagine how terrified, like, I would, like, I can't even fathom. I can't even fathom having somebody that I thought I knew and having that, your life end so quickly, without any indication. It's just gross. No. That's what creeps me out. That's the worst thing about it. Yeah, I know. I used to have a knife, but I haven't. I should. I haven't gone out after dark in a really long time. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a while, because it's been icy, and I fell at one point, and I was like traumatized because it was very public and very embarrassing. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go eat. But I that's what I've been wanting to tell people for a while, is actually like about my dad, really, because I figured that's something very unique that I can offer. And, I might be such a small channel, but, being my dad, he would have no problem coming on here for me. So that's kind of what I wanted to share, but I was so hesitant about it just because of what's been going on. But, like I said, I told my dad, I'm like, if you get anybody weird contacting you, I'll guarantee you that it's probably from YouTube, and, all my stuff is public. So if he thinks that I deserve any of that, then whatever. But I'm not instigating situations to deserve any of that. Nobody, I don't think anybody deserves some of that stuff. But yes, he is, Michelle. I told you about him. Yes. Yes. Some of his documentaries, I mean, some of them are a little boring, but a lot of them are good. A lot of them are really good. And I especially like his take on things. And like some of the other people, I'm like, well, they've been to my parents' house for dinner. I know him. Oh, know her. Yep. Met her several times, So Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to come on here and like, brag or anything, but just because a lot of people like true crime, I feel like a lot of people would enjoy hearing what he likes, what he talks about. So, you know, um, that's what I want to offer. That's what I would like to do with this channel. I'm not going out anywhere, Birdie. Don't worry. I'm gonna go eat and go to bed. But yeah, yeah, Narrow Navigator. The thing about it is that I don't think my dad would ever not be on camera. Same with my mom. So I guarantee you people will recognize him. I'm almost certain of it. So because I get text messages sometimes from people, they're like, I saw your dad. And I'm like, yes, I know, I know. Um, but that's what I'm saying. He's a public figure, so it's not like he's not used to stuff being known. Like he's not like a private person, if that makes sense. So like his name is out there. He has, I hate for lack of a better word, he has his groupies, is for lack of a better word. Not in the same context as you probably are thinking, but the same thing. I'll have people that are like fangirl over my dad, and it's the weirdest thing in the entire world. It's so uncomfortable. I'm not even gonna lie. It's so uncomfortable. I'm like, yes, yes, I grew up with him. That's right. Yeah. He's kind of old, but I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean that. But he has a really he's done a lot in his life. So yeah, I'm sure you do navigate. I'm sure you'd at least recognize him. And like I said, anybody who's in the social work field, I promise you know who he is. So that's the thing. Like I told him, and yeah, if he comes on here, he'll probably even introduce himself. I'm not even gonna lie. So I have no control over that. But you feel seen now? I'm confused. Oh, I don't know what that means. Oh, I don't know. I'm glad that people like this. I'm glad that people want to hear. I know people do, but like I said, that my only hesitation has been the drama that's gone on. I'm sure now that I'm saying that somebody's going to take it upon themselves to, but please don't. Like I don't want anything to do with this nonsense anymore. Like let me do my thing. I won't talk about you. Oh, yeah. I know. It's okay. It's okay. I get it, Michelle. You're not alone. Um I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. But yeah, like that's what I'm saying though. Like I won't talk about I won't mention anybody ever again if people can just let me do my thing on here. I'll take down all my videos. I really, whatever. I would. I don't feel like I should have to, but I'm not instigating. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I think that I have every right to post whatever I have posted. I'm not. Yeah, and I will have him up. And like I said, like I plan on having him up on a bunch of topics. Because if I was just to ask him to talk about a broad topic, that's not going to work. Because my dad, this is what he does. Like he speaks, like public speaking all over the world. So this is what he does. So he will talk for forever, just like me. And yes, use big words and so on and so forth. But yes, I have been the black sheep of the family. I have been disappointing in a lot of ways, but like I said, I've done a lot of work on myself. And I have worked on I didn't always have the best relationship with my adoptive parents. I'll tell you that. I went years with barely speaking to them, for many, 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 many reasons. But I do now, and I know that they're very proud of me, and I really appreciate that. So yeah. I think that in a lot of ways, my parents, especially maybe my dad, and I think I've told him this, so I'm not gonna, had expectations, of me, and careers and stuff that I tried to, fit myself into that weren't right for me. And I wish I had just done what I'm going to school for now in the first place. But it is what it is. And, I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to go get my master's degree. I'm very grateful that I'm able to do that. And that's what I've been doing. And I thought I was going to get A's this semester, but it's looking like this whole thing on YouTube, and not just YouTube, but like I had something going on in my personal life around the same time that the YouTube stuff happened that was like 2 weeks worth of grades, and I think it's going to bring me down to a B ultimately. But can't be helped, and it is what it is. So we just try again next time, try again next time. Yeah, like, why can't we enjoy drama? Why can't we be like a book club or like, a group that discusses reality TV or something? Because that at this point, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Navigator. I know. And a lot of it was me internalizing things that weren't real. Not wasn't real, but as a kid you don't always see things rationally. And I was very hurt by a lot of the things that happened, but I realize now that the reason they happened was because a lot of it had to happen. But yeah. With some of the stuff that, yeah. Yeah, well, everybody, yeah, we do. And my sister's the exact opposite. She is a perfectionist. She is like a rock star. She's not actually a rock star, but like, in her career field, I mean, like she went to an Ivy League school, like, she has a really a career that I don't even want to ask how much she makes because it'll make me feel bad about myself. And I'll never do that. But it's whatever, as long as I can support myself and have a roof over my head and enough food to eat, and for me and my family, that's really all that matters. Like, I'm not materialistic. Neither is she either, though. So I don't know what they're doing, but I'm proud of her. It's been hard for me to say that because that's what I was jealous of, guys. I'm not jealous of you folks on YouTube. I was very jealous of my sister, though, and she's younger than me. But we've also been working on our relationship. So there's that. But I'm going to go eat. I'm going to get off of here. Like I said, I'm sure I'll be on tomorrow night. If not, I'll probably be on the next night. But I enjoy coming here and talking to you. This is my social time. I know it drives my family up a wall sometimes. So you're right. I am. And Michelle, that's why I posted that inspirational meme or whatever on my community tab today of the, trying to grow and trying to leave that comparison behind, because we don't all, I read something that's like, we're not all starting from the same point. Like, my day one is somebody else's day, you know what I mean, like way further. So I'll get there when I get there. Just and it's my own damn choices that made it so I'm so behind in a lot of stuff, and it was my own choices. So I have nobody to blame but myself. And I've had to come to terms with that, and we're moving on, and we're going to do better. So that's what's going on, and I will talk to you guys later. I might pop into a few chats after this, but have a great night, guys.